They owned a summer, crushed a chorus, then disappeared before the posters even dried. The 60s made pop stars overnight and erased them just as fast. In this countdown, we're bringing back the bands you've heard 1,000 times but can't quite name. The Beatle-baiting harmonies, the stomp that shook London floors, the chant you still hum without knowing why. We'll hit 10 to 6 fast, one defining track each, why it blew up, and the moment it all slipped away. Then 5 to 1 is where the myths crack. Label fights, lineup drama, changing tastes, real reasons great pop vanishes. By the end, you'll walk away with a fresh 60s playlist and a new respect for the groups behind Lies, Red Rubber Ball, Walk Away Renee, and the number one that ruled for a week, then ghosted the charts. Which band here deserves a comeback? Tightest hooks? Best chorus? Most wasted potential? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you love deep-cut pop history with zero fluff, hit subscribe. This is 10 Forgotten 60s Pop Bands That Rocked Then Vanished. Let's start at number 10.
All around I see the purple shades of evening, and on the ground.
Picture a sunny London sidewalk in 65. Two acoustic guitars click like castanets, a gentle Latin rhythm pushes forward, and a laid-back vocal glides over it. Concrete and Clay doesn't shout, it sways. That was the secret. In a year crowded with brash beat groups, Unit 4+2 won with restraint, folk pop warmth dressed in a light bossa shuffle, it felt modern and modest at the same time.
But love will never die, because we'll see the mountains tumble.
They hit number 1 in Britain because the record works on first listen. The hook arrives early, the percussion is tactile, and the chorus lands like a friendly nod. But lightning didn't strike twice. Follow-ups charted lower, and by the decade's end, the name faded from posters.
Before we say goodbye, my love and I will be.
No scandal, no spectacular implosion, just the quiet reality of the 60s. The chart turned over fast. And good wasn't always enough in a scene sprinting from folk rock to psychedelia in 18 months.
Way it's meant to be.
Listen for the interplay of those guitars and the near hand clap feel in the rhythm, small details that make it stick. When you first heard Concrete and Clay, did you clock the Latin sway, or did it feel like pure British beat? And if you were programming a 60s playlist today, where would you drop this opening track or sunny mid-set palette cleanser?
Hey Pop Lore family! Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
A TV commercial becomes a pop hit, that's the elevator pitch. The melody came from an Alka-Seltzer jingle, but the T-Bones turned it into a clean chugging instrumental with a rock-steady groove and twangy guitar lines. It's all bounce and bright edges, the kind of mid-60s sound you can almost see matching suits, crisp amps, an audience clapping on 2 and 4. Here's what made it work. First, familiarity. Millions already knew the tune in short form. Second, musicianship. The studio players were pros, locking into a feel that radio loves because it reads instantly at low volumes and still pops when cranked. Third, timing. Instrumentals were still viable in 65, 66 before vocals fully dominated AM playlists. So why did the name vanish? The T-Bones were essentially a studio project. When the record blew up, a touring lineup had to be assembled fast. That kind of quick pivot is hard to sustain, and by the late 60s, the market had moved. Fun footnote, some later members would reappear in 70s pop. You'll spot the names if you dig. Be honest, did you know this was a jingle before it was a hit? And does an instrumental need a video story to thrive on YouTube today, or does groove still sell itself? No, 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 no. You hear it once and it's stuck for a week. The Human Beings took an R&B tune, revved it up, and delivered one of the most infectious chants of the decade. It's garage pop at its best. Urgent drums, clipped guitars, and a vocal that sounds like it's leaning over the mic stand, daring you not to dance. This record breaks rules in a clever way. The no, no, no hook is basically a percussive instrument. It creates tension the band can release with those sharp ascending guitar stabs. The arrangement is lean, no wasted seconds, so radio programmers could spin it between longer songs without killing momentum. It's also a crowd weapon. You can picture a room answering back on every no. But the window was small. By '69, the garage era was giving way to heavier psychedelia and album-oriented rock. Bands with one undeniable single often struggled to reset their identity as the soundscape shifted. Bit of lore, the group originally used a quirky spelling, Beings. A label typo simplified it to Binds, and the name stuck. Engagement check. Is this the most addictive negative hook in 60s pop? Or would you give that crown to I Fought the Law or You Really Got Me for raw insistence? If you played Lies blind to a casual listener, there's a solid chance they'd guess early Beatles. That's the magic trick. The Knickerbockers didn't parody, they captured the mechanics, tight two-part harmonies, a biting guitar tone, a drum feel that snaps like a rubber band, and a melody with just enough turns to feel clever, not fussy.
Lies are gonna make you sad someday.
The opening riff announces itself like a headline. The chorus locks in with clean, ringing vowels that radio adores. Why it caught. American bands racing to meet the British invasion had two choices: compete by sounding very American, bluesy, surfy, or learn the UK grammar and write great songs inside it. Lies does the latter with confidence. It's not just influence, it's execution.
Smart girl, and I'll believe what you say. But who do you?
So what happened? The follow-up, One Track Mind, grazed the charts, but the industry moved, the band's momentum cooled, and deeper label support drifted elsewhere. Think of the mid-60s like a conveyor belt, dozens of quality singles, only so many slots at radio.
Lies are gonna make you sad someday.
Does Lies deserve a place alongside the best non-Beatles British invasion-style singles from the Beau Brummels to the Zombies, or is it more of a perfect pastiche that should be judged in its own lane?
And I think it's gonna be alright. Yeah, the worst is over now.
Sunlight in song form, Red Rubber Ball is that rare pop single that feels like a morning, clear acoustic strums, a buoyant bass line, and a melody that smiles without turning sugary. Co-written by Paul Simon with Bruce Woodley and delivered by The Circle, it's deceptively simple. The verses step upward like stairs, the chorus jumps a rung and floats, and the lyric flips heartbreak into optimism. The worst is over now. The morning sun is shining like a red rubber ball.
It's shining like a red rubber ball.
Context matters. The Circle were polished, road-tested, and connected enough to open for the Beatles in '66, which tells you about their professionalism and stagecraft, but pop was changing fast.
The stories in the past with nothing to recall.
Within a year, the airwaves were making room for more psychedelic textures and heavier statements. A second hit, Turn Down Day, kept them in the conversation. But the title shift from singles to albums made survival tougher for acts built around bright, compact songs.
I bought my ticket with my tears, that's all I'm gonna spend.
Why it endures. The chord choices are friendly but not childish. The vocal blend is silky, and the lyric gives you closure without bitterness. A perfect radio tone.
And I don't need you at all. The roller coaster.
Which version hits you hardest, the Circle's radio original or any of the many live covers that lean more folk? And in a YouTube era, would you pair this with archival 8mm summer footage or go pure lyric video to let the melody breathe?
This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves. Open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live.
Anytime you want to, you can turn me on.
When this record starts, it feels like a sigh that turns into a smile. Soft drums and guitar set the table, then that lullaby-like melody glides in. It isn't an accident. The tune borrows from a classical motif by Muzio Clementi, set to new lyrics by 2 young brill-building writers Tony Wine and Carol Bayer-Sager.
We got a groovy kind of love.
And it was the first true test for the band after their frontman, Wayne Fontana, walked mid-gig. Guitarist Eric Stewart stepped up to sing lead, giving the Mindbenders a gentler, more romantic voice.
Groovy kind of love. We got a groovy kind.
The single caught fire on both sides of the Atlantic, peaking at number 2 in the UK and number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in spring 1966. It was kept from number 1 by 2 monsters. These boots are made for walking in Britain and When a Man Loves a Woman in the US, which tells you the league it was playing in. But the band's window closed fast. By late 1968, after a few follow-ups stalled, the Mindbenders played their final show and split. Stewart would soon help form 10cc, proving the group's DNA didn't disappear, it just moved.
You agree, baby, you and me got a groovy kind.
Question for you, which version lives in your head, the Mindbenders original or the later Phil Collins cover, and why? This is AM radio, built like a sports car. Tight frame, quick acceleration, nothing extra under the hood. Written by Scott English and Larry Weiss, the American Breeds hit was even sped up a touch for the 45. One reason it pops so hard on first listen, it's bubble gum with a rock chassis.
I got nothing to hide. All that I want is you by my side.
Crisp drums, hand claps that feel like camera flashes, and a hook that tells you exactly how to sing it back. The payoff was real chart muscle. You're 5 on the Hot 100 in January 1968. Followed by a swift fade as trends turned heavier and funkier. Several members carried that shift forward, helping see the band Rufus in the new decade. Your take. Is Bend Me, Shape Me a guilty pleasure or a power pop blueprint? What's the moment that gets you, the count-in, the break, or the final chorus pile-up? Producer Joe Meek recorded this in a North London flat and turned the room itself into an instrument. He had the band stomp on a wooden staircase for that thunderous beat, then mic'd the banisters with bicycle clips. It's raw, homemade, and perfect for the song's shout-along chorus. Add Honey Lantry, one of the very few high-profile female drummers of the era, and you've got a record that looks and sounds different from the pack. The result, a UK or one in August '64 and a US top 5 crossover, then the fast come down that hit many beat groups as the decade moved on. The band folded by 1967, but this single still stomps like new shoes on a wooden floor. Do you hear this as controlled chaos or sharp popcraft? And would it work the same if Meek had cut it in a fancy studio? Baroque pop doesn't get more cinematic than this. The harpsichord-like keys, the sighing strings, and Steve Martin Caro's tender vocal turn a simple melody into a small film about wanting and walking away. Teenage writer-keyboardist Michael Brown penned it with Bob Kalili and Tony Sansone, inspired by a bandmate's girlfriend. One more reason the emotion in the track feels so close to the skin. The single climbed to number 5 in the US. Then the follow-up, Pretty Ballerina, reached the marker 15, proof they weren't a fluke, but power struggles and lineup changes pulled the group apart by the end of the decade. Question for you, if you could only keep one Baroque pop classic, this or God Only Knows or Alone Again, or which survives and why?
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
A busker begs for coins, the strings shimmer, an electric sitar line snakes through the mix, the word play echoes into infinity. Songwriter-producer Paul Lika and lyricist Shelly Pins bottled psychedelic pop into a 3-minute single that still sounds like a soap bubble catching the sun. It became Buddha Records' first U.S. number 1, landing on February 3rd, 1968, and selling over 1 million, one of the high watermarks of late 60s bubblegum psych. But success came with a cost. The band wanted to be heavier, the label wanted more candy-colored hits. After 2 albums and a couple of smaller charters, the Lemon Pipers left Buddha and were done by 1969.
My green tambourine.
Final question, is Green Tambourine proof that pop craftsmanship wins over band identity, or do you hear the tension in every bar, and does that tension make it great? The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next.